Okay, we got to go over to YouTube and monetize this mofo. YouTube Studio. Content. Live. Monetization on. Morning, Joe. And then I want to go to if you guys, I'm going to show you. Oh, now of course it doesn't show me. Let's see. We're gonna go to TrendSpider. So these office hours. Jason does office hours for TrendSpider. If you are a TrendSpider subscriber and you can make these, today it's at 3:30. He's going to go over Tesla earnings. We were on yesterday with Netflix earnings. I could not make it live for Netflix earnings. I probably won't make it live for Tesla earnings today. I may, but these are fantastic, unbelievably good sessions. So if you are a TrendSpider subscriber, I would highly suggest putting an alert out for those office hours when he posts them. Morning, Evan. Morning, Scott. Morning, Chris. Let us look. Let me see, and I'll go over what I'm going over today. I bought $25,000 worth of Intel instead of Netflix. Wrong mistake. It is what it is. Netflix just killed it. I mean, Netflix just, it's up 10% at 544. I mean, we're here. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. We're up at 544. So you're right here. You're right. Okay, let me put in another bar. So at 544, let's say it opens up at 540. Okay? You've still got boom, boom, boom. 31%. You've still got 31%. Oh, close the other one too. Oh, you can leave one open so they're not crying. Penny knows to bump it. Bump her head. Let's remove that one. Okay. Yeah. This has been the run that I've been playing Netflix on. And so, October, bought a little bit more. Here in March, I think that was my initial buy right before this earnings. Let me see, when did I initially buy it? Let's go into my Fidelity account and see. Because I probably should mention that. Because, and I mentioned it yesterday to Jason while we were on the live on Jason's stuff. Morning, White Rabbits. I like that name. And for anybody that doesn't know, didn't see the message, but I couldn't go live yesterday for Netflix earnings because I was sitting with my neighbor's cat, who was not doing well, who actually passed away this morning at 1 a.m. So let's see, Netflix. Just condolences to my neighbors. I made my initial buy on July 10th. Then I added more. I've added quite a bit. So July 10th of last year. So I did not get in on this full run, but it was up here. It was under 400. I said, hey, you've got to get Netflix under 400. I think that's what, and before it breaks through the 200 day. Got through the 200 day, I added more through here. That was the big ad through there. Okay, she's just leaving. That was the big ad. So I don't think I've added through this. Let me see. No, I have not added through that. My last one was 1020. So it looks like this once we gained a little confirmation. Let me go. Oh, YouTube is installing there. So I got Netflix. I've got DH Horton. DHI. We're going to go into that. That was a post-earnings. Hoo-wee. I mean, that the home builders, yeah, that's a one that was tough yesterday. We got Tesla earnings. We've got Shea Boular, who I get. Oh, I didn't put it down. Let me see. I need to go to x.com, and we're going to go to Shea's profile because he's got Shea's got a great post. I mean, all of his stuff is just so good. It's all about the same thing, but understand. He's got a fantastic portfolio, and he's very open about it. And let's see. Don't 100% agree with this one, but time will tell. Solar's been, I'd rather get the let it run 10% before I see it. I wish I could see category leaders. Let me see, January 23rd, 2024. Okay, we must have missed it. Yeah, there it is. This is the one. Copy link. There we go. And we're gonna look at this one. I'm gonna keep that one open. Boom, 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 boom. I like this. Okay, let me open up my own. Morning, John. Let's open up the MACD trading strategy of Market Wizard. Interesting. Oh, did I change? I didn't change. Hold on. I didn't change the date on this. Let's go back into YouTube. I got to change the date to the 24th. I think I changed it on YouTube Studio. I think I can do this live. Content. Live. And we're going to change this. It's 124.24. And 124. I don't think I put in. Yeah, there we go. I got my notes in there. So save. Change is saved. It should say it now. 124.24. There we go. Okay. And Big Apple Day news. I'm going to review the core portfolio and key stocks. New TrendSpider indicator, which insider sells. There we go. This is a cool indicator. It highlights on the chart buys and sells from insiders and gifts. It also, they go over a ton of stocks like Oxy, Carvana, This is a line, LW, LDOS, Wells Fargo. Jets. A note to developers who have left the code open, get creative. The script tracks the buying and selling of all airline insiders and paints. Wow. That's interesting. Yeah, that's a great one. That's a great one. Okay, let's go through our scans. Morning, Mike. Morning, D-Man. Welcome to your day off, D-Man. And I do have to probably... I mean, I have so much to talk about just because yesterday I was sitting there with the cat and holy crap. I mean, it's green. Today, there's so much that's up. Morning, Daniel. There's so much that's up. Netflix is obviously the big mover. But you got Roblox up 1%. You got Shopify up 1%. SMCI up another 1%. Tesla up 1%. I will go over my strategy with Tesla. I am not 100% go on Tesla. And mind you, it's from a douche on the internet. I have made more mistakes with Tesla than probably many other stocks. I mean, Netflix, I made the mistake for years since 2015. I should have bought and held Netflix. I didn't. But Tesla, should have bought and held. Should have bought $60,000 worth of Tesla when I bought my car and just held on to it. Didn't. Be worth about $680,000 instead of having a $20,000 car now. So you live and you learn. It's not a horrible thing, but yeah. Okay, I gotta do live chat. Let me do this live chat. Yeah, I got that live chat. Okay. I hope I wasn't an ass to anybody yesterday. I don't think I was, but MPLX, Target, and Morgan Stanley. Interesting. And Caterpillar. Let's go to, that's one list that you guys don't have access to. Covered call ETFs. I don't really care about this one too much because I'm going to keep that stuff up, but I'm not going to scan it. Energy names, there's a ton. Energy seems to have turned a little. ET, ALB, ET, man, that XOM, MRO, PXD, Devon, COP, CHRD, Shell. Okay. I got rid of my PXD. I got rid of my Exxon. Exxon you could have gotten for 94. It seems to have made that turn. Energy Transfer. This is paying what, a 15% dividend, something like that. And it's just kind of capitulated since that dude's kind of, got into there between 13 and 14 bucks. So we haven't seen it go too much higher. Levered ETFs. Let's see if nothing. Nothing. That's because everything's in there right now. Low cost Vanguard. We'll put these in a separate section. Low cost ETFs. VXUS, VWO, that's the total stock market, VEA, okay. Spider sectors. No, XLE is in here. Yeah, it's I mean, listen, none of this is financial advice, tax advice, none of that stuff. I mean, this is just having fun, having a good time, and trying to make some money. That's all it is. I am no expert. I'm just a guy who's gotten lucky. FNGU. Oh, this is the 3 times levered FANG. I think this is that Montreal Bank levered ETF. Yeah, it's up 5%. It's Netflix, because this is Netflix. Facebook. I think it's Facebook, Apple. It might be Facebook, Netflix, Google. I don't know what. Let's see. Let's go over to Seeking Alpha. And FNGU. Zephin, good morning. FNGU. Oh, look at this. I didn't know they had an earnings calendar. Search by company or earnings date. Earnings per share estimates. Boy, look at this. Build your own portfolio. You can create multiple portfolios and set custom price and ratings alerts for your tickers. I never knew this existed. Look at that. We got everything from today. Whew. And I'm pretty sure this is free. I'm pretty sure this is free. Zephin, I can tell them to do whatever. Here's my suggestion, okay? Go into TrendSpider and go down here to contact us, okay? Write exactly what you want. They are absolutely fantastic, unbelievably good at providing if you request something and it's something. Remember, all of these guys at TrendSpider, everybody from the CEO down to my rep, who is, Braden, is unbelievably fantastic as a representative. He's just so responsive. Me asking for it won't do anything more than you asking for it, and I can guarantee you that. Even though I'm an affiliate of theirs, and I can do stuff, I can ask them for special favors. You have as much power as I do, so contact us is the best way to do it. Explain what you'd like to see and how you'd like to see it, and their developers will develop it if enough people want it. And there's a couple of people you could ask stuff of, but if you want order flow, that sounds like it's exactly what you want. Now, I didn't know this, but I was on Jason's office hours yesterday, and if you missed it, because I said it at the beginning, if you're not, go to TrendSpider's YouTube if you're subscribed. And Jason has these office hours. Set up your alerts and get on one of those. And you can ask him directly. He will give you feedback about what they have. They may very well have that, Zephin. I just don't know if they have it. But one thing that he did that I didn't know was this order flow. You can click there. So see, let me get out of this real quick because I haven't used it that much. But say you want to know during this run where everybody bought. There's your volume profile. Your VWAP during this time was 167. You can see during this time, there was a good volume level shelf all the way up. So I thought this was interesting. I thought this was super interesting. Now, I don't know how to. You can move this around. Remove this volume. So it would help, but let me go over. Okay, FNGU was what I was looking. I was looking for the. Oh, there's a difference between an ETF and an ETN, and I don't know the difference, but I remember hearing that. Larry, holdings. There are no holdings top holdings are not available at this time. So I don't know what it has. It's triple levered ETN. So ratings, no ratings. Momentum, nothing. Expenses, no expenses. I think it's through the Bank of Montreal. So it's a foreign thing. There's some tax issues, something. I've got it in the, you can look at it, 21%. We can look at the 1 month. I mean, it's a triple levered, so it's going to underperform, then it's going to overperform. I believe so, Zephin. Play around with it. Remember, and Zephin, you're an OG, and I've said this from day one. I use maybe 10% of TrendSpider. I don't use a lot, and I don't. And part of the reason is A, I'm dumb, but B, I don't like clutter in my brain, in my life, in my trading, and I've learned over the years what signals I like, what makes me take a trade, what makes me get out of a trade, and adding clutter to my world. And yes, TrendSpider, I've only been using it since 2020, but clutter in my brain is the number one thing that I can't trade with. This is an interesting one. Plug seems to have gotten a cross up after that crazy drop. Oh, I don't know why it does this. And I know TrendSpider hates that I use Safari. Hates that I use Safari, but oh well. It was on the not owned. Huh. End phase over 100. Pullback. Rebound. BYDDF. Sundial Deer. Man, there's a lot. QDEL. ARCG. We got ARCG. Oh, that's the neighbor pulling in the trash cans. ARCG's getting a second leg. Rivian. Rivian has a nice morning, Jeffrey. Yeah, coin, Zephin, I went over it, and listen, an hour a day for somebody to listen to me. I don't know how you guys listen. Morning, Eddie. Morning, Jeffrey. I don't know how the hell you guys listen to me for an hour a day, and I try and keep it down to as minimal as possible, because in my mind I want to listen to somebody like for 5 minutes. But here's coin, and it's finding some flooring with the RSI here down in that area. But coin is having a cross up probably in the next. Let me make sure this is in my not owned. Yeah, it is. Okay. So I'll get an alert on this one when it actually crosses up. I think it's going to be tomorrow. You'll get an alert on this one. Doesn't have confirmation. I've said it before. If you take this volume back here, and Zephin, you may have missed it, to the July highs, I don't think it hit highs in June. I think it hit those run-ups. Yeah. So it hit that run-up there. And you look at this VWAP line. That's around 110, 112. In my mind, That's where you load up. And it's not because it's great valuation. It's not because it's crazy. I do think Kathy Woods, I was listening to her yesterday, and I think she's right in that you can see it bounced right off there. Old resistance comes up as new support. And it's it's just ironic out there. Now, if we take this new thing that I found and we say, okay, where are people buying in from this territory? And we just view into this, you've got some support down here, but there's some definite draw up here to about the 130s. If we were to take it and gain some confirmation. You've even got some up here that are still holding on to this. So people above are still holding on to it. So in my mind, I think it's a remove all annotations. Yeah. I think this one, I agree with you. Coin is a long-term stock, but if you're looking to get out, I probably would have gotten out during this period. We can run the 4-hour algorithm on this. I don't know why that damn bar up top. It must be the ad thing that I'm running, the ad blocker. Morning, Sherry. Yeah, Fubo's a great service. Now, the problem you have as an ex-cable executive, Zephin, it's the cost. Let me get through these scans real quick. I think I've got enough there. Yeah, Rivian is the last one. We'll go to the Dow. I just need to do the Dow. Dow. Wah, wah, wah. I'll read your comments. We got a fun-filled crowd today. That's crazy. I didn't know that's a Christian. WBA, Walgreen Boots. I would not invest in this one. You know what? I'm taking that one out. Even though it's a Dow stock, F you. Procter & Gamble, not a bad one. JP Morgan, I won't invest in. Cat, already have it. I own that. Let's go to the NASDAQ. I'll be able to look at your stuff, your questions. Oh, Fortinet, great rebound stock. Dash, Illumina, KDP. I've been highlighting. Mondelez and Netflix. I've already got. Fortinet. I've said it before. It was going to cover this gap. It's on its way. It's probably coming up to the $75 gap. It covered this gap up here, 57. You're heading into earnings. I think their earnings this time will be fine. Let's see. Illumina. This one got a pump yesterday, I think, or some news or something, and it was up. It's above the 200-day. I think it gets back to good stuff from what I hear. I don't know too much about it. We've talked about Kelly Dr. Pepper. Just needs confirmation to come and cover this gap up to 33, I think. But it's kind of just fluttering. I mean, it's not doing anything. Let's go to the S&P. Wah, 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 wah. Hopefully, Zevin, I answered your question about, and again, just use for any TrendSpider, the contact us button is so solid. They are so responsive. It's almost like live chat, but I know it's not live chat. Sometimes you wait about 20 minutes for them to respond. God, and insurance is just, has anybody seen Travelers? COP. We got to cross up on Ford. I would not invest in Ford. Bank of America, Deere. We got to cross up on Schwab. It's coming back to 70s. We've taken our little leg down. U.S. Bank Corp. Bristol Myers. Bristol Myers, everybody's touting at Bristol Myers that they're going to come back, and it just hasn't. It just hasn't at all. AbbVie, I like AbbVie. Target, I've got in there. Morgan Stanley, I've got in there. Citibank. I don't know why that didn't come up. I thought I owned Citibank. Maybe I don't. Hey, SBUX. Any thoughts on SOXL? It's a triple levered ETF on the semiconductors. And if you're not in, let me go over to the strategy tester real quick because I'm done with scans. If you're not in it, I think it's extremely extended. I don't think that you get in it right now, but that doesn't mean that it's not running to 40. Look at the RSI. The RSI is at 75. The MACD is way up there. It's got to come down. It's just got to come down. If we move, because it's a triple levered ETF, you don't want to hold this one. You want to play it. So if we say, October, the end of October, this was where to get in. This is where the algorithm got you in at 15. I would have advised you to get out around here, around 23. And then once you gain confirmation again around 24, get in around 24. Get out when you lost confirmation around 31. Wait till you get confirmation. You got confirmation around here at 29. You're at 35 right now. You have confirmation, but I would not get in. I would wait for, the next one. I would play SOXS instead of XOXL. But if we look at these volume levels and you just look at it from here in October, you can see the biggest shelf down here is where you built it, where it capitulated at the end of November, beginning of December. And you haven't built another volume shelf up. Your support level is probably either 31 or 28. I mean, that's a big, when you're talking about triple levered ETFs, it could easily just run through this down to 23 if Intel just, crazy stuff. So I don't know. I mean, that's my thought on SOXL. I own AMD. I own NVIDIA. I own Intel now. So I own a bunch of the individuals. I don't own SOXL. I have not played this one. It has been a great one to play, but I would not get in there. I would get in SOXS, the short, the bear version of it. If you wanted to trade, because at some point in time, this one becomes the confirmation and it becomes the rebound probably from 4 to 6. But you're probably going to get a reverse split on this one at some point in time too. So, let me go back and read some comments. FNGU, good morning. Tell TrendSpider about order flow. D-Man, you're always so nice. Larry, my energy oil picks are VVV and COP stable. Energy's fine. MPLX is the most stable energy that I've found. And it puts off a 9% dividend. I went with XXXS. I thought NGO may be extended. I think pick whichever one you want. But if there's triple levered ETF, just be careful. I did the coin for you. Morning, Eddie. Morning, Jeffrey. PayPal, I have a large position in. I am way down. Fubo. I was going to look at Fubo for you. From an XTV executive, I will tell you the problem is that it's the programming fees that these guys pay. It's not attracting subscribers. I think that's a secondary thing. Nobody wants a TV bundle anymore. And even though you're building it with streaming, nobody wants it and nobody wants to pay it. So your sports fans are getting into Fubo or YouTube TV. YouTube TV tends to win because of Sunday Ticket. But with soccer season starting up again, I believe, and cricket and things of that sort, I think Fubo does fine. Now, long term, it's just, if we go over here and we look at Fubo from a Seeking Alpha standpoint, and God, I've got to start my show. Buy, hold. Profitability, the valuation is actually a B-. It's 16 out of 59, and they put it in the media and services. Meta's the top one. Google's the second one. You better have Google in your portfolio. Travelzoo, ZipRecruiter. I mean, some of these don't really apply, like TripAdvisor. I don't think that's in the same thing as Fubo. Pinterest might be one. I mean, I like Pinterest. Pinterest at, let's see, 30. Oh God, it's at 36. I mean, it's extended, but I like that one. Pavan, not only informative, but yeah. My friends don't like to listen to me that long, Pavan, but I appreciate you. I like 2 resource stocks, SQM, great dividend too. Okay. Jeffrey, I'm not going to look at it because I got to get to the show. Morning, Sherry. If you want AIC, what is AIC? I don't even know what AIC is. Assurant. Is this the consulting group? Assurant. Let me see. What do they do? Provides business service. Yep. This is the consulting service. It is a strong buy. I mean, Quant loves it. Quant absolutely loves it. Let's see how long it's been a strong buy from the Quant. It was a strong buy at 163. It's trading at 169. So it hasn't changed much since they changed it to a strong buy. Do they put off dividends? Yeah, 1.7% dividend going forward. Let's see. From a 52-week range, you're at the high. I don't know that I'd buy into it at the high, but God, I mean, it looks like a solid business. So Daniel, in my mind, there's better opportunities to make money in the short term, and I'm not a big, hey, let me get into a consulting firm kind of investment. Remember, I'm a tech guy. Tech excites me. Consulting services, I have a hatred for guys in blue suits with brown shoes. Those are the guys who pay $110 for a steakhouse. Those are the guys I hate, and those are your consultants. But consultants are really good to work with. I've worked with a bunch of them before, but the sales guys of consultants are just Morning, Scott. Fortinet added. I own PanW, and I want to get back into CrowdStrike. I do not own Fortinet, but my dad has a big position. I did see the Operation Redwood. It's rumored. It's a crossover. I think it's the Model 2 is what they're talking about. So it would be a smaller one. I don't know if it's going to be like the mid between the Y and the X, because I don't think they need that. But I think Tesla goes but under 200 before it goes to 250. But again, I'm a douche on the internet. Boyle is just risky. Anything natural gas. What are your thoughts on DMTK? Let's see. DMTK. Dermtech. What do they do? A molecular diagnostic company. My thought is I have no idea what a molecular diagnostic company is. They deal with skin cancer, blah, blah, blah. Their quant rating is hold, valuation B. Doesn't look horrible to me. Nothing that I would invest in because this isn't an area that I have any knowledge of, to be honest with you. But when I look at this, Fusion Pharmaceuticals, FUSN, is the number one in the quant. I trust the quant more than I trust me in biotech. I don't invest in biotech. And the reason I don't invest in biotech is it's moonshots. You can invest in it all you want. Their valuation is B-, so it's not horrible. They're probably not going to zero. DMTA, let me see. DMTK, we'll go to FinFiz. They're now making money. They're losing $110 million. They have $1.99 per share, so they only have $30 million or $60 million on the books. You're going to get diluted. That's why you're at $1.31. Target price is $3.60, but they're not making money. They don't have enough money, and nobody's covering it. So I just, it's a moonshot. If there's news on it, then that's great. But I can tell you, nobody's buying it. Everybody's selling it at $1.45. Insiders, not huge amounts. You're talking about, but they only have, let's see, 34 million shares floated. Nothing I would ever get interested in, to be honest with you, Eddie. Yeah. With Elon trying to get stuff back, I got it in my notes. I'll talk about it again. Netflix call, I agreed that I was holding it, Scott, but I didn't make the right call in, oh my God, you should get in now. I said if you don't have a position, you should get in. So I did make the right call on that one, but I did not put my money where my mouth was. I did not add to my position, but I do have I have a 6-figure position in this. So I made a good amount of money in this one yesterday. So Pan W will be under 300 again. I mean, I believe that it will come back and cover this gap down to 300. You're seeing the button hook now. The Bollinger Bands have cinched up a little bit, not much. You're still over that 9-day, so you still have confirmation, but you're seeing that MACD come up. Look at the RSI. It's at 78. So, yeah. And crowd, kind of the same story. I've been waiting to get back in. I want to get in. I wanted to get in under 280. And I should have gotten in at this 265, but then I waited and then it jumped up to 280. So now my target is under 280. But if it does some type of immediate reversal, then I'll get back in. The problem is there's no catalyst on the upside or downside because earnings are done. So you really need something that to come out of it. But, okay, let me get back into the show. And I am going to where is, there it is. There's the portfolio. Let me see. Picked. Still nothing new. We've got this one. We've got Seeking Alpha there. Let me see if there's any news on the front page of Finviz. Oh, everything's good. Look at natural gas up 5%. Hoofa. Okay. We're on the Qs. Where are we? We've got confirmation. Let me start opening up. Okay, insiders. There we go. And then stock savers. We're going to open up Shays. And then oh, where's Gene Munster? That's what I want to look at. I think I retweeted it, so let me make sure. Profile. If you're not following me on X, you probably should. Insiders. Where is Gene's post from yesterday? I guess I didn't. Let's see. Gene Munster, like the cheese. He's a fantastic analyst. So if you don't follow him, you absolutely should. Let's click on his. And where's his Tesla? This was 123.1108. Okay. Yeah, here we go. This is it. That's the one that I want. And we're going to go over here. I think that's it. Okay. Oh, I do want to open Savvy Trader. And we will go to my portfolio. Popular portfolios. Huh. Let's see. Let's discover. Let's see what place am I in now. Best return and 3-month. Am I up there on 3-month? I am not up there on 3 months. 1 month. I am number 3. Number 3. Trade Think Tank took me over. By the way, and this is what kills me is 49 trades in 1 month, 62 trades in 1 month, 6 trades in 1 month. Techno Crypto. Tech and Crypto. 7 trades. 0 trades. Yeah, I've got a lot of subscribers, but and let me see, I can do down here is the history. Okay, that's what I want to show is I did put in my Intel purchase. I put in my DocU. I put in my Intel. I am not doing a lot of trading in this. Okay, so let's start recording. Yeah, AlphaPix is great. So White Rabbits, they may demonetize me. They may throw me out. Wait for the 8th of February for AlphaPix. There is a sale. I don't remember how much, but it will be worth your while to get into AlphaPix. And I outlined it in yesterday's newsletter. Well, you know what? Let me start the show. I'm going to start the show. Good morning. It's Wednesday. It's Hump Day, January 24th. And I say that all the time because you know what? One of my favorite commercials of all time is the, I forget the camel's name, but it's whoop, whoop. Guess what day it is? The Geico commercial with the humps, with the camel. We had a good day yesterday. Your newsletter, free yesterday. I put in the newsletter and I started the newsletter out with the tools that I use and kind of how I see myself using them and how you could use them. All 3 of them are paid. So you have to have a large enough account that you're managing in order to do it. I did it from the expensive to the middle tier to the bottom tier. And so the top one is TrendSpider. It is the most expensive. It is my number 1 tool that I use. If I had one tool to do it, I would use TrendSpider. If you want to sign up for TrendSpider, it's at the top here on my Linktree, linktr.ee/dailystockpick. You basically go in there, you sign up, and then you email me, and I will send you back ways to import your stuff. The second one that I did on yesterday's newsletter was Seeking Alpha Premium. This is I think it's $189 with my $50 off coupon, and it's the second one on the Linktree. This provides you articles. This provides you research. This provides you all the quant ratings. It provides you everything that you need to get in there. Now, the third tier is the least expensive. This is under $100. I believe it's $100 now. There will be a sale coming up in February that I will tell you about in February. I can't tell you right now. It will save you some additional money, but this is AlphaPix. And this is basically one of those services that provides you, hey, we got in at this price and we're going to get out at this price. And it sends you emails and alerts. It tells you why. The reason I did this service was because of their return. Their returns are amazing compared to the S&P. They are up 70% versus the S&P up 24% in 2 years. You can see total returns and you can view their performance. That's what's great about this service. 83% versus 28%. What I particularly like is when they actually do the picks, they provide you video and texting of why they did this. So it's a great learning platform for under $100 a year. And the performance is there under $100 a year. If you're not trading enough money, doesn't make sense to get it. If you are trading enough money, this is a good service to try out. So yesterday's newsletter, and again, these types of newsletters during the week are absolutely free. So you can sign up. Everything that you need to sign up, the links are right here in the link tree. The top one is TrendSpider. The second one is Seeking Alpha Premium. The third one is the AlphaPix. Fourth one is Webull. Because I have Webull. I love trading in Webull. I give you free stocks if you sign up. And the fifth one here is the newsletter. These are the top tools. If you're going to trade, this is my recipe for trading. So that's why I put it in the newsletter yesterday. That's why it's up there. That's what, I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows that. So here's where we are on the Qs. Right now it's 9:33. We opened up. We are up almost 1% on the Qs, which means my TQQQ is doing well as well. If you got in at 407 on the Qs like the algorithm said to, you are up about 5% now. If you went into TQQQ when the algorithm said, and remember, I used this algorithm in TrendSpider to try and find entry points. But if you are in TrendSpider, the algorithm, right now you're up 15%, triple levered ETF. And remember, I bought QQQ, but I wanted to leverage it against QQ. I wanted to leverage it with TQQQ. So I triple lever. I just had this feeling like we were in a bull market. It was going to take off, that this simple beginning of January was dollar cost averaging, where everybody kind of sold off so that they could reposition themselves for the year. It just made sense, and it makes sense. And I said we're going to be in a bumpy ride until March. I think we see some type of pullback between now and March when the Fed meets, but I think it's off to the races. We can talk about Netflix earnings. We will. And I said yesterday that I think if you didn't have a position in Netflix, you should start a position in Netflix. Netflix killed it on earnings. I will put in the newsletter some articles from Seeking Alpha about Netflix earnings. They gapped up. You're going to see this gap between about 493, where it closed yesterday. Let's see where it closed. It closed at 491. It opened up today at, 537. You're trading right now at 547. I would expect you to get back to the all-time highs. This is a stock that just identified, and you're still 31% from the all-time highs at 700. So is it too late to get in? No. You've gained confirmation above here. If you buy in at 548, is it smart? I don't think so. I think you see some type of pullback probably to 520 or 530. But if you didn't get a position yesterday, you need to start looking at this one. They announced a partnership with the WWE starting in 2025. They also added a ton, I think 10 million new subscribers where they were expecting 3 million. This is the password crackdown. They also announced, the biggie that they announced was that they are getting rid of the lower cost ad-free tier. Remember what I said in the last time that I bought more Netflix, which was around the end of October. I said they will get rid of that low-cost tier, and the reason is because ads are so lucrative that low-cost tier makes no sense for them to have, because they are actually losing money. They can make more money if you paid for the ad tier and then served you up more ads. That's essentially what they're doing. So the cheapest tier that you can get probably starting next year here in the US is going to be $15 a month. That's the tier I'm on because we still have 2 households. Don't tell them, but we still have 2 households that are hooked up on it. So that's what it is. And remember, they make more money off the ad tier. So this is a stock you want to own. Okay, hold on. Dog's crying. What the hell, Daisy? What? You can get under there. Okay, come here, Penny. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay. Okay, I'm going to hit record again. Netflix, own it. Own it. And I said this yesterday during TrendSpider's Lives version, and I will show you this real quick. But I said it yesterday. I have made more mistakes with this one and Tesla in not just owning this. And that's the reason why yesterday during earnings, I was like, hey, if you're not in it, you should have it. Doesn't make sense. I subscribe to Netflix. I think it's a solid service. But one of the things, if you are a TrendSpider subscriber, you should absolutely go to their YouTube channel and look at these office hours that Jason has. And when it's live, you should go there, because every time I attend one of those sessions, I learn something. I learned something new. I learned a ton yesterday. And there's usually 10, 15 people. So it's like a one-on-one training service. Yesterday, my trading portfolio, which, by the way, just so everyone's aware, in the 1 month, I am the 3rd best trading portfolio on Savvy Trader. Savvy Trader is a service. It does cost $25 a month, paid annually, so it's like $400. You can pay for it if you want. I do keep up with my trades. I've had 6 trades over the month. I bought Intel. Now, I put 25 shares in here. I actually bought $25,000 worth of Intel. And the reason is I put it in the newsletter yesterday. You can read all about it, all about why I think Intel is a better earnings play than Netflix. Now, the crazy thing is I just don't know for sure. Anybody that tells you that they absolutely know for sure is just they're guiding you down an empty rabbit hole. But I basically put it in. I put the charts in the newsletter. I put the charts from Seeking Alpha about how it's underperformed. I think the PC market is coming back. I think AMD beats Intel in the PC market. But I think between Taiwan Semi, I think between its underperformance to the rest of the market, the problem is that you're seeing this, it's run up. And I got in at about 48.40, I think, somewhere in that neighborhood. Right now it's trading at about 48.41. So, but I just bought $25,000 worth. I am expecting this to pop over 50. I posted it, posted the graphs, posted everything. Can't do much more than that. DHI, DH Horton. The home builders have been on a binge of, say, DH Horton, DHI reported earnings yesterday. Didn't come in as expected, down 10%. What I want you to do is if you're interested in home builders, I want you to keep an eye on this one because while their earnings were bad, this is one where they start lowering rates, could go in another run. And this run that happened, the algorithm got you in here October 26th, got you out with a 40% gain, but this was a 54% gain once it lost confirmation. So I want you to be in this name as the rates start to go lower. But DHI yesterday, they announced earnings. Let's go over some Tesla stuff. Now, there was a rumor yesterday, and it's a rumor that Tesla has notified its supplier that they are getting ready to do a new low-cost vehicle, and it's called Project Redwood. If you want to read that, just Google Tesla Project Redwood. It's an interesting one. Probably won't come up on the earnings call. If it does, we got bigger problems because that just means that they're trying to hype stuff up. This is Gene Munster. He is a fantastic, fantastic analyst. Tesla reports after the close today, he posted this yesterday, the key metric is auto gross margins is expected to come in line with consensus at 16.6, up from the 16.3 in September of 2023. Bottom line on gross margins, I expect them to finish the full year between 17 and 18%. This compares to consensus of around 18% in 2025. I believe the metric will rise between 20 and 25%. That's what you have to see on Tesla. Now, understand Tesla has been cutting their prices. Tesla has been trying to compete in China specifically by cutting their prices. Here in America, they've been trying to deal with and I say lack of demand, but I don't think it's a lack of demand because they did sell out of their inventory. Now, what you have to understand is the algorithm has you out, but it will probably get you in tomorrow. I don't know in the afternoon candle, it might get you in. If you have TrendSpider, keep an eye on this. And the reason that I say that is because this algorithm makes you 87% over 2 years. Okay, there's 24 positions. So it's about once a month that you trade. You haven't traded in the month of January. So if it gets you in, the likelihood that you win is 42%. Your average win is 18.9%. This is if you had bought it 2 years ago and you're just holding it, you're down 29%. What's interesting is that if you go to the daily and you take a look at every time that the RSI is in this oversold territory, it starts to bounce up. We can see right here, and I'll circle this one right here. This is when the RSI is in low territory. If we just clone this and we move this over and we go to the next time, the RSI hits down here. You can see it's down there. If we clone this and we move it to the next time it's down here, well, where is it? It's right there. We can even move this back, okay? And we can go to the last time, even the time before. Clone this. Look at the RSI and look at each time that it happened. So I'm not saying that this is the time that it's going to happen. The MACD also seems to be crossing up at these times. The MACD is a little bit away from crossing up. The valuation in Tesla is crazy. Elon Musk is fighting for 25% of the shares, or else he won't innovate with AI at Tesla. He will start a new company. He said the Cybertruck will be the death of Tesla. They're having trouble selling this thing. I personally got an email. I don't know too many people who are dying to buy it. It's an influencer. At this point, it's an influencer vehicle. So I think one of my friends said that. That I tend to agree with. My thought on this stock, you don't have confirmation right now. If we run this and you get some type of turnaround here in the 4 hour and you get confirmation above 211, right now you're trading at 211. It's still touching that 9-day. That 9-day may turn over, but those Bollinger Bands are huge. You just had a death cross here. This is a stock that I have made more mistakes on than I've done right. And it's a stock that I should have bought and held. But in the near term, it's tough to buy and hold. And this is part of trading. And this is part of investing. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. But you have to make your determination about which side you're on. And so I don't know which side I'm on. I just know I think this one goes to 200 before it goes back to 250. And that's my guess. I may be completely wrong. I own this. I don't own this one outright. I own XLY. So I am invested in this one. I also own QQQ. So it's got some in there. I own ETFs with this one. I don't own this one outright, but it is one of the most anticipated reports this week. I myself decided Intel was a better play. I was wrong on Netflix yesterday, where I thought Netflix couldn't pop 10, 15%, and it did pop 10, 15%. I think it popped at its height. It was up 20%. It's up 12% right now. So I didn't think it could pop. It wound up popping. So I may be wrong about or Tesla as well. But have I mentioned SMCI? I'll keep saying that as SMCI moves towards 500. Shea Boular is another analyst that I really, really like. And he put out Stock Market Offer Rewards category leaders. Here's a list of industries that currently have a duopoly. This is interesting. NVIDIA, AMD, I own both. Payment processing, I don't own either one of these, MasterCard or Visa, but they've been heavy movers. Home improvement, Home Depot, Lowe's. I've traded these in the past. I don't own them. Commercial aircrafts, GE was down yesterday, RTX. Package delivery, FedEx and UPS. We've seen those two. Smartphones was interesting. Apple and Samsung Mobile. I own Apple. So that's an interesting tweet that I think was a good one. Let's see. Big Apple news yesterday. If we go over here to Seeking Alpha and I go to Apple, I'll have a pic of this. There was great news. I mean, if you just look at this, it's funny. Spotify stock rises on new EU regulations, enables in-app purchases on iPhones. The news that hit me yesterday was glucose monitoring. The most attractive equity options and this is where it started, where I have the picture from. The most attractive equity options to hedge tech drawdown risk. That's an article you can read. 30 most inexpensive stocks with the highest exposure to China. That's one you can read. This is the one. Artificial intelligence is set to change the news forever, but how? And Samsung, Apple race to shake up glucose monitoring market. Those are the articles that I think you should read. I like Apple. I think Apple's going over 200. I do think that the chart is a bit difficult to kind of monitor per se. But you've seen these swings, and I've said anytime it gets down into the 170s, you should load up on it. Anytime it's in the 180s, it's an okay buy. I don't think you're going to get hurt, but I do think that 200 is going to be tough to get over. Now, the review of the core portfolio. This is interesting because, like I said, I'll just go over some stuff here in the core portfolio. Apple, I think it's going over 200. Buying at 195, not horrible. Don't load up on it at 195. Dollar cost average your way in, but I do think it's going over 100. Amazon still has room to grow, and I show this all the time. It's on the weekly. It has room to grow. Look at that top there. That top there is around, let's see, the top is 188. It gets to 190, and then it's going to, reject at 190. Boeing Boeing might be it's capitulating here, and it's down 0.47. I think it trades between 200 and 210 for a while. I think it rejected off this top 217 here, which was a gap fill where the Max 9 was halted. It got you in at 213. I'd be a little bit careful of this one. And the reason I'm careful about this one, the United Airlines CEO yesterday said they've lost confidence in Boeing. This might be a longer turnaround story than just a short-term recovery back to 240. So I'd be a little bit careful of this one. Bank of America, I still like this. If you see weakness in this stock, you can get out because remember they're paying about $2 billion in the insurance for the smaller banks. It's just one. Cleveland Cliffs, it's at 1853. It's going to 220. It's going back to 20. You're going to see this one get back to 20. So 1830, 1838, 1853. I think you're fine. I think you're going back to 20. Costco, we've talked about, anything you want to buy in Costco, you're fine. I think it's a little bit extended right now, but the second they announce some type of membership increase, I think that one's going crazy. Google, it's up above 150. I do think 130 was the buy on this one. It's at 140 now. So if you get anything in the 140s, I think you just load up on this one. Coke, we talked about. That one's back at 60. Goldman Sachs. Meta. Meta reports earnings next week, I believe, maybe a little bit out. February 1st. So it might be next week or the week after. I'm not sure. This one's crazy, but it's not at its all-time highs. Look at the weekly on this one. You're getting back there. It right here at 384. I've been saying, hey, get into this one. You're 392 right now. It's a little bit extended, but again, if they print money, I mean, these guys are they're over everything. Microsoft, it's over 400. It's still got room with them monetizing AI, taking search revenue from Google. I think this one, again, if you had to choose between Microsoft and Apple, Microsoft may grow more than Apple, to be honest with you, because of the AI stuff. Now, if Apple comes back and says we have gotten into generative AI, I think that's a crazy, crazy good stock to get into. NVIDIA is cheaper today than it was last earnings. You're seeing this one up over 600. Anything you can get under 600, I think you load up on. I think you absolutely load up on. The valuation of this is less today than it was back here because of their earnings. So back here at 500, it seemed crazy, but the valuation today, and remember SMCI pre-announced their earnings and their revenue went crazy and they can't get enough chips. Speaking of chips, Qualcomm, it's at 154. This one's probably going to 170. We can take a look at a long term of this one. I think this one bounces back to these all-time highs here at 170, 180. I think that one's a fine. It's in the core portfolio. Shopify. I pounded the table on this one when it was in the 50s and 60s. You've got to buy Shopify. You've got to get into this one. Yes, it's expensive, but it becomes cheaper as they continue to grow. They've gotten rid of their fulfillment center. Now Amazon fulfills for them. So their cost center is gone. It's an expensive stock. They announced later in February 14th, Valentine's Day, let's show some love for Shopify. Anything under 80, take advantage of it. Have I mentioned SMCI? We're at 470. We're going to 500. Their earnings are coming out next week, January 29th. They pre-announced. The only thing you can expect from the earnings is the talk about gross margins. If their gross margins, I expect them to settle, I said between 400 and 410. You're 470. The only thing that can derail this is any mention of margin deterioration. They have more demand for these rigs that they're building than anybody. Remember, they build low energy rigs for AI. So, we went over Tesla. Tesla is now down at 209 instead of 211. I do think it dips under 200. I think when it gets under 200, I think you just buy that one. Uber we talked about. I think anything under 60, you just buy it. UNH, this was an interesting one. It's just floundering. There's nothing crazy about this one. It's under its 200 day at 517. If you wanted to buy this, I wouldn't say no, don't buy it here, because I think that under 500, we dipped under the 500 for a little bit. This is an industry leader. They don't have a catalyst coming up, but I do think that you get back to this range up here at 555. My dad, yesterday, we sold 100 shares of UNH. That was his entire lot. It's what, $50,000 worth. He bought it a couple years ago for $30,000, so it was around $30,000 to $50,000. It's in a retirement fund. What did I do? I wound up just using that cash, and I bought Intel for him. I bought Intel. I said, hey, let's just take the cash. I don't see United Healthcare having a catalyst, but I do think we could trade Intel. And at some point in time, when we buy Intel at 48, I think you're over 50. So you can sit there in your retirement account and just wait for it to get over 50. So, but Walmart, final one, Walmart. I like this one to fill the gap to 168. I mean, that's not a great move, but this is a leading retailer in the U.S. and the economy's fine. I own this. I own this for a long time. There's your look at the core portfolio. TrendSpider has a new indicator that you can add, and they go over in this particular thread. Some of what they can show you, it's insider trading. So you can take any symbol that you want and add insider trades. In fact, if you're a developer and you'd like to do this, they've left the code open. So they even used an ETF to where you can put all of the airline insiders where it paints it on the chart. It's an interesting indicator. I think Jason was showing it yesterday. It's got a nice setup in there. So again, if you're a TrendSpider user, you can do that. Now let's talk about some of the social requests. Ted from Facebook. DRCT. What the hell is this? Direct Digital Holdings. I can tell you right now, it looks like a hype train. DRCT, what do they do? Are they making money? DRCT, Direct Digital Holdings. They're an advertising agency, market cap 152 million. They only have 3.25 million shares. They are making money. Their PE is 45. Too expensive for an advertising agency? Are you kidding me? Target price $14.83. It's trading at $10.67. Nobody covers this. It's too small. Good luck in fulfilling any orders. Right now, the sales, December 10th and 12th, the CEO is selling $1.2 million worth at 10 and 11. So you're right at 10. Why would you think that, he wants to hold on to this when he's selling $1.2 million? The market cap's only $152 million. So he's selling close to, about 1% of the company. That's a big, big deal. So I'd stay out of it, Ted, to be honest with you. Sam, what's your opinion on TROX? Let's look at TROX. Tronics Holding. Would like to know what you think upside might be on this one. 2 weeks to a month. I'm still working out the bugs on my system. Thanks in advance. TROX. You can see, the algorithm, it loses you 39% versus buying and holding loses you 36%. I think the stock as a whole is just a loser. If you want to trade this one, I would definitely trade it on a smaller time frame. TROX, if you look at this one from a fundamental standpoint, market cap, they do chemicals, $2 billion. They have 100, it's a little bit better, 154 million shares. They are losing money. Forward PE of 15. Price to sales is 0.79. Average target price $15.44. You're trading at $14.05. It got all the way up to $17.61. Insiders are selling. I don't think there's better places in your market. Here's the thing. What I don't understand, Sam, sometimes, and this isn't directed at you, but sometimes when you guys ask me about these crazy stocks, and it goes against my system and my trading history, because some of these stocks, yes, you can trade on momentum, but you want to do it on shorter time frames. You don't want to do it on a daily. You don't want to do it on a weekly chart because there's no hope. And that's what I see in a lot of these little stocks. If you're going to trade something, make sure it's a big enough cap. Make sure it's got enough of a future, because I can't look at a stock right now, TROX. I don't know what they do. I have no freaking clue. They're a chemical company. Great. But I don't know the ins and outs of the company like I know Apple. I use the iPhone. I use the iMac. I use the iPad. I have an Apple Watch. I don't know that kind of stuff. So upside, I don't know. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. Right now, if you got in at 1268, it's been a good one. But, if you got in up here at 14, you're kind of hurting. Is it getting back there? I don't know. What's the catalyst that gets it there? Is it their earnings? Are they going to make money? That's where you've got to try. But, Apple, is Apple getting to 200? Yep. I can guarantee you that. It's going to get to 200. They're buying back enough stock. They've got enough of a catalyst. So when you look at these stocks, start building an understanding of not only the way that the charts work, but understanding the way that the company works. And you want your portfolio to be filled with stocks where you understand what the company does, how they work, how their management works. Target's a great example. I shopped at Target. The second I stopped shopping at Target, I should have sold it. The management just didn't do a great job with inventory. I saw there was lack of stuff. That's what you want to take with you. When you start just scanning for stocks and looking for opportunities in the charts, that's where I tend to think that you're gambling. Look for opportunities in stocks that you know, not stocks that just show up on a scan. That would be my guide for you, Sam. Zach, Airbnb, it's done quite well for me, but there's been a lot of insider selling lately, even from the CEO. What would you do? And this is from Spotify. I'm not a fan of Airbnb. I think that they have, hotels have started to take over and done better at this than Airbnb. I know several Airbnb hosts who just can't find people to fill their houses. They're not making the money that they were. It's a tough business. And I think what you're seeing is the valuation come back and hit Airbnb. I think, look at this. The PE is 17. The forward PE is 33. 33. So their expected earnings are actually going down and the PE is getting hurt. So where do I see this one going? The average target price is 135. You're trading at 142. Most recently, January 9th, market performed and with the target price at 134. I would get out. I mean, honest to God, I would get out. Like, you see these huge sales at 136, 142. These guys know something. I mean, all the way through the end of last year, they're all selling in the 120s. I mean, there is not one buy in this long list, and we're talking millions and millions of dollars of people cashing out. I don't have hope for this one. I don't think it's a good one. If we go over to Seeking Alpha and we look at Airbnb, I have not invested in this one. I will tell you that Motley Fool seems to love this one. From a quant standpoint, Seeking Alpha, it's up 1 year. It's up 35%. They say hold. Again, the valuation is a D-. And ranked in industry, it's 8 of 37. This is hotel, resorts, and cruise lines. Royal Caribbean's the number 1. Trip is number 2. Carnival's number 3. Expedia, I like Expedia. I really like Expedia. I don't think that one's a bad one at all. I would find another one to get into. I don't think your Airbnb has a ton of room to grow. And I say that with fully knowing that I'm just not a fan. And I will use it. I use it every now and then. In fact, I think when I go to Arches National Park in May, I think we rented an Airbnb. Dex from Spotify wants GE. And I've gone over GE long term. The short term of GE has been super positive. When we look at the weekly, you can see it's soaring up. But if we go to a monthly, this one is just in rebound. And it hasn't even hit its 200-day. And you can see here, back in 2017, before it started all the trouble, this was the range that I put in the monthly. And I said once it got over 109, I think you were starting to get stretched. Well, yesterday, I think it was down. It's down 2% today, partly because of the engine problems I think that they have. It's not a bad one. I just think GE is part of the... it's a specialty, $138 billion market cap. PE is 15. Forward PE is 21. So it's a little bit expensive based on their forward guidance. Year to date, it's down 0.24. Average target price 143. You're at 127. 52-week range, it got up to 132, so you're only 3% from the all-time highs. I think the upside is a little bit limited. Honest to God, I think the upside is just a little bit limited. It's not one that triggers my fancy and says, oh my God, I've got to get into this. Mike, Tesla, after the last 3 earnings calls, Tesla is falling 9.8%, 9.7%, 9.3% respectively. Tomorrow we'll find out if it's a 4th consecutive dip on an earnings miss already priced in. We went over Tesla. Mike, my thoughts on Tesla, I think it's going to 200 before it goes to 250. And it's at 209 right now. It was up 1%. It's down to back to even right now. I just, it's hard for me to get excited when the CEO of the company, who's been the evangelist of the company, says, you know what, I'm not going to innovate with AI in the company unless I get 25% of the company. And he's the dude that sold this stock to fund Twitter. And now he's lost a bunch of money in Twitter. So I question his go forward plan, if you will. I'm not an anti-Elon guy. I'm not I'm not a pro-Elon guy. I'm kind of neutral on the dude, to be honest with you. But I do question kind of his go forward plan on this one. I am excited about the product. I still think by far best car out there. In fact, I may buy a Model Y in the next couple of weeks. I've been looking at it instead of the Cybertruck, just because logically it makes sense for me to buy that. Let's talk about scans. Netflix has a cross up. Of course it does. You're up 13% at 558. I would wait for 3 days. If you haven't gotten into this, the guidance for me would be, and you can see the MACD just crossed up. So the scan says, hey, you should get into this. Well, you should have gotten in at 489. I would wait for this one to settle for 3 days. I think you're going to start to fill this gap between 536 and 493. I think you'll start to fill it. I don't think you'll completely fill it, but I think you start to fill it. I think you'll get a better entry price on that one. Next one that crossed up is Devon. I would wait, honestly, to get into this one. It's up 0.15. Energy's just tough. The algorithm loses you 45% versus losing 10% if you bought into this one. This is hard. Back here, I have a note. Look how clear since May we've been trading in that realm. Well, you can see that the trajectory now from long term is still down. Yeah, we're bouncing off that 200-day at 40. I would say rather than $50 being the price to buy in under, I would say buy under 40 and sell over 40. That's kind of my thing with energy. Now, one that has held up, that has another cross up in it for a short term, for a 4 hour, is MPLX. And hopefully you're in at 36. This is one that has a crazy good dividend, and it has been a solid performer for me ever since the pandemic. 8.66% dividend yield. MPLX. It's in the core portfolio. I think the chart speaks for itself. If we go for a long term, you can see you're getting an 8% dividend, and it hasn't really pulled back. You've got solid growth on the actual asset. It was a 9.34 forward dividend. I think it's still a solid performer. XOM. This is the core portfolio, by the way. These are the stocks that crossed up in the core portfolio. XON, Exxon. Again, I would wait you do have confirmation. It got in at 97.84. You're trading right at that level right now, 97.83. I would wait to see if energy really comes back. This one, I think you get back to 100. So if you want a quick pop, their earnings come out. These guys have killed it on earnings. Every time they've killed it on earnings, they've made money. They're basically, with oil presented at $70, these guys are making money with anything over 30. They're returning it back to shareholders. But you've had during this entire period, when oil was expected to spike between $80 and $100, it hasn't. And that's what's killing this one. So Exxon is one that's in there. Deer, Cat. ARCG. One that has a cross up that I think is interesting is Rivian. Rivian, are we seeing the bounce back up? We talked about this kind of being the range here. 1604. You are down 3% at 1548. Again, wait for confirmation to trade this one. I'd rather see you wait and get in at $16.80, $17 for it to cover this gap up to about $18 than to see you get in at 16 and see it pull back to 14. And I think 14 is a real number. Again, it's a little bit extended. One that I really like, and I've been telling you that I really like since it gapped down, was Fortinet. Now, Fortinet, we talked about down here at $50. I told you it was going to fill this gap up to 57. It filled that gap. It's trading at 65 right now. You still have room to cover this gap up here to 75. So if we just look right now, you've got, 14% to cover that one, and you have earnings coming up on February 6th. I like that one. Again, it's a cybersecurity. I personally own PanW. I owned CrowdStrike. I'm looking to get back into CrowdStrike, but that's one that I think you should look at. Schwab is another one. Schwab is probably going back to 70. This one is at 63.83. You do have confirmation. It got you in yesterday afternoon. You're seeing a nice little volume shelf here build out at about 62 or so, providing a little bit. I'd say if you get into the 50s again on this one, you load up. They had their earnings. There's no real catalyst for this one. It's just going to be the financial sector that brings this one. Your RSI is down here at 41. You're crossing up below the oscillator. It all kind of looks like, if you want to get into this one, it's a solid name. Another interesting one is Citibank. Citibank is in the middle of a turnaround at 53. I think this one goes to 60. If we look at a long term of this one, this is a bank that has been hurt. You're just getting to this 200-day, which is at 54.38. Now, if you can hold that 200-day, you can see we've rejected off of it a couple of times. It's a little bit extended on the RSI at 65. But if you want a long-term turnaround story, this is the one that you get. This is kind of like Wells Fargo was. Wells Fargo has made its run. I own Wells Fargo. We have a bunch of energy names that crossed up. We have 3 low-cost ETFs that crossed up. Sectors that crossed up that you want if you're looking to get in. XLE, energy. Like I said, wait for confirmation. XLE has the confirmation, but I wouldn't say that this is, rip-roaring, oh my God, we're going into an energy rally. The RSI is in no man's land at 42. You crossed up here below the oscillator. The 200 days moving negative. The 50 days moving negative. The 9-day has just started to turn positive. 21-day still negative. So I'm not super excited about the move here. I'd rather see you wait for confirmation and get excited about the move. Now, the material sector, this is Cleveland Cliffs in the core portfolio. This is one that made, got a buy in here yesterday afternoon at 82.86. Again, same thing. Your 9 days just moving positive. You did have this golden cross. This could go into a second rally here up to 86. But I'd rather see you wait for confirmation rather than have it pull back to 80 from 82. Now, you're using these as guides for other companies within those sectors. If you go over here to Seeking Alpha, and I know this is part of the free service that you can get when you sign up for Seeking Alpha, but if you go to XLB and then you go to the holdings, you can see it's Linde, Sherwin-Williams, Air Products, Freeport-McMoRan, Ecolab, Nucor, Dow, Newmont, PPG, DuPont. There's 31 different holdings. So you can take a look at those holdings and you can invest in, if the actual sector is moving, these names are the ones moving it. So, and specifically Linde, you can see Linde has been moving up. It's got a quant rating of a hold, but we've seen this one over year to date. This one's down 1.42%. If you look over 1 month, it's down 1.4%. 6 months, you're up 5%. 5 days, you're down. 1 day, you're down. So this one, the valuation is an F. It's ranked 2 out of 4 in the industry. Industrial gases. So Air Products, APD is the one that they recommend. It's got a buy on the quant. It hasn't been doing well, though. So this is how you kind of research and how you find stocks. So it's a solid way to play it. Again, sign up for the newsletter. It is free. Yesterday's newsletter had great content in it, I think. The paid newsletter is weekends. I do more of an education. Right now I'm in this education series where you can learn about PEs, Golden Cross, Death Cross, confirmation, MACD, everything that I say, button hook, algorithm. Bollinger Bands, levered ETFs, where I'm creating this whole book of education, which will culminate in, okay, let's take a look at a stock, let's find some stocks, and let's find some opportunities. That's what I'm culminating in. So if you're interested in that type of thing, it's $120 a year. There's a founding member series where you can get for $400. You get the opportunity to do a one-on-one meeting with me. Go sign up for free. See if you like it. If you like it, then you can sign up for the paid version. But it's got a free 7-day trial on it as well. If you want any of the tools that I use, TrendSpider, Seeking Alpha, Alpha Picks, Webull, the newsletter, Patreon, Visible, which is my phone service, any kind of stuff, you can go over here to the link tree, click on anything that you want. If you sign up for TrendSpider, you basically go over to TrendSpider, you look at their offer, you use the code DSP25 for 25% off whatever service that you get. I think, let's see what the pricing is. It's going a little slow. I think my internet's a little slow or something. But you'll get 25% off with code DSP25. Let's see. It is $1,488, so you get 25% off that, or $124 per month. Yeah, I'm signed in, so I can't kind of go through it. But use the code DSP. What you're going to do afterwards is you come back here, and there's an email right here. You can email me at dailystockpick3@gmail.com. I will email you back a welcome letter where you import everything for you. So let's hope Tesla, again, if you want to join me for Tesla Live, set it up. If I don't go live, then Jason from TrendSpider will be live. So hit me up with any of your questions. Okay, take care. Bye. Let's see. Am I up today? I think the market's kind of turned around a little bit since I was talking. What did I do? 45 minutes? I got to get off here and edit this together. I want a life. Wow, I am up. I'm not beating the indices though. I'm only up 0.41%. Let's see what I'm on Webull. I'm up 0.23%. So it's Apple that's dragging me down. Apple is up Apple's even. So Apple's dragging me down. But let's see Tesla. Yeah, I'll wait for confirmation on that one. Okay, let me read. Yeah, Scott, they do well. You know, Alpha Picks does really well as far as the want to beat the S&P. They don't trade much, but they don't need to trade much. I don't know how they trade, but it's based on the quant. They're down 0.55% since the 16th on this one. They're up 13% on this one. If we look at their return, their largest gainer is SMCI, which they got into 11/15 of 2022. They got into MI Homes, MHO, in 2022, 254%. They got into Modine in 2022, 228%. I think they rebought this recently. Let me see. But what I really like is they give you everything. All the reasons why they bought into it, what the company does. This is exactly when people, hey, what do you think of this? This is why this is why I agreed to promote this. I think this is a solid for $100 a year. I think this guides me into companies that I just didn't even know existed. Like Modine, MOD. You can see they bought it on 1/2/24 and 12/15/2022. So, yeah. I think that when I watched their video, I think they said they buy like $1,000 each time. I don't know what the whole portfolio is worth, but you can see the close. They closed on The last one they closed on was Jackson Financial, which they got rid of. And they give you a reason why. Exponential growth and profitability. Bravo. Would be great if Seeking Alpha made an intro bundle with alpha picks. One pill makes you larger and one pill makes you small. And the other... I don't even know that song. MOD. Let's look at MOD. You're right, it doesn't dip. Let's go weekly. Yeah. Yeah, there's two places that I would have told you to get in. The first, right here. You can see it. On the weekly, it dipped under the 9-day right there. Okay? There's another one. Clone this. There's another one here where you can see. Clone this. There's another one here, which kind of got under. Clone this. So, I mean, with a stock like this, I would look for that type of downturn where you see it under the... It doesn't mean that you're going to get it, because look at this. This entire run back here from 2021 to 2022, you were down 52%. But ever since then, you've been running. Now, MOD, let's take a look at MOD from a valuation perspective. Its valuation is D+. If we go over here to FinViz, where I like to look at the market cap and stuff like that, their PE is 17. Not crazy, but for auto parts... which is where they're spaced in. And I read their article, and it's basically auto parts is their main thing. You can see, if we go and sort by PE, Modine, we're looking at 49 tickers. Modine at 15 is the number 11 PE. There's a higher PE in this sector, but there's not much lower with companies that are making money. Not a lot lower. There you go, 14th. It's the 14th lowest. Oh. Yeah, but Jackson, I mean, the stock has been a winner. We talked about that 50% retracement in 8 months. But in a year and 8 months, 795%. I mean, listen, my algorithm makes you 442% over 24 months. But the actual stock over 2 years gets you 612%. So, the algorithm got you in here November in 39. You've doubled your money, and you're still in, and you've still got it running. I would not get in right now, but it's one to put on the radar. Yeah. I don't know Grace Slick and Jefferson Airplane. I'm old, but I'm a Bon Jovi guy. Okay, I am going to go. I'm going to edit this together. I will see you guys either at Tesla at 4 o'clock, or I will see you tomorrow. Take care, guys. See you. Bye.